I hate these stupid intros. As you can see by the title, this is another episode of Who I Used to Be. Okay, I think I did an intro. This week it is car girl, car slut. There was a time in my life when all I did was work on cars, drive fast cars, ride in fast cars. I was just obsessed with cars. I think it was because I just let people manipulate me into what they wanted me to be. I was looking for somebody to love me because I didn't love me. So when I met this guy that seemed so great, and he was like, wanted me to be a certain way, I thought I had to be that way to receive his love. I molded myself into this person that wasn't really me, just so I could make him happy. Then after we broke up, I kind of had a mental breakdown and just started having sex with everybody. But yeah, basically, I had a fucking blast during this time of my life. I loved every minute of it. I don't regret anything. I still love cars. I had some amazing, unforgettable experiences that I wouldn't trade for the world. Enjoy. So, I know everything about cars, basically. The first thing I did to a car was switch out a transmission. It was super cold. We were in the garage all winter and it was freezing. We did it and it took forever. And I learned everything. And now I've done like motor swaps and everything in between. And I'm just like awesome at working on cars. So one time, me and my boyfriend were driving down to Portsmouth and we were in a car that overheated every 20 minutes. So we had to keep stopping to put water in it and let it cool down. And that took like an hour each time for it to cool down because it was summer. And so eventually we got to a rest area. I had to work the next day. I had to start a brand new job. So instead of trying to drive back with me and like be with me, my boyfriend went and found a semi driver and talked to him and got him to take me back to Columbus, which was like an hour and a half of a drive with some random semi driver. Turns out he was super creepy and he like told me all these stupid weird sex stories that he had, and then at one point he whipped out his dick and started beating his meat while looking at me. And I was just like, fucking stop. And he stopped, luckily. But I was never so happy to be back in my apartment. But another time when we were driving down to Portsmouth, I was driving my DSM, which doesn't overheat. And I was basically racing every car I could find and every car that was around, which was a lot. And I guess somebody must have called the cops because all of a sudden heard sirens. So I pulled into a side neighborhood and like pulled over and popped the hood. And of course, the cop found us. So I just started talking to him like I was dumb and I didn't know anything. And I was just like, oh my God, I like just got this car and like I guess it has a turbo and it just like keeps accelerating by itself and I don't really know what's happening. I think it has an oil leak and like I just don't know, and I started pointing it under the hood and like showing him things. I was like, and I think that's the turbo. It's so cool. I'm just so excited to like learn about cars. He was like seemed pretty impressed by it, honestly, and so basically me and my boyfriend like charmed him into letting us go and just talked to him about cars because he was into cars too. So it was cool and he let us go. And actually in that car I got pulled over 5 times in the first 4 days that I owned the car. It was just too much fun. It was a DSM, a first gen DSM, and if you don't know what that is, you're dumb. It's all-wheel drive, turbo, and sick as fuck. And I had an Evo 3 16G turbo on it, sweet blow-off valve. Plus I had a really nice exhaust and no cat. It sounded good, it was super fast, I never lost a race. But it did fuel cut a lot. I should have upgraded the fuel injectors. But my boyfriend was trying to drift in the snow and crashed it into a curb and bent the subframe. So he made me trade it for a non-turbo and I went ahead and blew that up. So obviously I had to break up with my boyfriend because he was a total asshole. After I broke up with my boyfriend, I had to get a tattoo and I really wanted it to be a piston, but the tattoo artist couldn't draw a piston, so I just got a spark plug and I just didn't have time. I didn't want to wait. I'll have to look at it, so here, look. So that's that's my tattoo. It didn't really hurt that bad, but I almost passed out and I had to stop after like 5 hours. But it was fine. I go to all the car meets that he used to take me to. I talk to the guys with the fastest cars and they take me for rides and they take me along for races because I have a probe and I can't race anybody because it's too slow. But I'm like obsessed with it. I just fucking love my probe. I know it's a terrible name for a car, but it's my fucking probe and it's amazing and I love it. I'm totally gonna go to car school so I can make my family proud. So anyway, basically hang out with these car guys constantly, like at the car meets or like just driving around, hanging out. We get drunk all the time or smoke and like race cars and just talk about cars all the time and like work on cars all the time. I always help them work on their cars, but I don't let anyone help me work on my car because I just won't do it right. You know what I mean? Anyway, I really want another DSM and a Subaru and a Supra and a Skyline and a Silvia and a really fast RX-7 and an Evo. I just sleep with the guy I think is coolest at the time, so yeah, dude, it's totally chill.